So Liverpool moving up to second in the Premier League with a 3-0 win over Brentford here at Anfield today. It's an all-important third goal they get at the end after Mohamed Salah scores twice. Diogo Jota scores again to really wrap things up, and I think that's the crucial goal that takes them above Arsenal into second. I thought a really deserved win, a comfortable win in the end, and Liverpool's performance really merited that for me. I thought they played really well at parts. I thought the first half they were very good. They were very impressive in the way they played and played around Brentford to create them problems, but maybe not as controlled as you'd like. There were still some moments where Brentford really threatened on the counter, and they also threatened from set pieces, but I thought second half Liverpool completely solved that problem. Whatever Jurgen Klopp and his coaching staff said at half time absolutely worked, because they choked the life out of Brentford in the second half and he added the 2 goals. It was a really consummate performance in that second half, and a really good way to go into the international break, because as I say, they move up to second in the Premier League, just behind Manchester City and above Arsenal, the likes of Tottenham as well, who've had a good start, but also they get those 2 poor results they'd had coming into this off the back. You know, the game at Luton, where it was a poor performance really in the end, and there was disappointment around that, only able to get a point there in the end, and then going to Toulouse and being beaten really quite convincingly in the end. It's good to get those out of the way and off the back, as I say, and move into this international break now full of confidence, and hopefully get some players back from injury in these next few days, and when they can then go to Manchester City directly after that international break, and hopefully put in what maybe a statement performance that announces them as title contenders. We will have to see. Now, as ever, I'm going to go through the performances here and say how I thought Liverpool played man for man. I'll start with the goalkeeper. I thought just one of those performances really where he's just so understated, Alisson, and everything he does, but he's utterly world class, the best goalkeeper in the world. I mean, Mbeumo has a chance when it's 0-0 in the first half at the Kop end, and he goes through one-on-one, a brilliant ball in behind, and a great control from him with the ball over the top. I think, by the way, he is a fantastic forward, and I am amazed that there hasn't been more links to big clubs. I think he's a great player. Anyway, he goes through on goal, and Alisson just gets there, makes the one-on-one save that you almost expect that he will make these days, and then Liverpool go away and win the game 3-0. It would have been a totally different game if Liverpool had gone 1-0 down at that point, but that is the importance of having a goalkeeper who makes one-on-one saves with the frequency that Alisson does. Incredible again today, and I thought Brentford tried a lot to damage Liverpool or hurt Liverpool with balls over the top and balls in behind, but also the aerial ball as well from set pieces. I thought Alisson, the way he dealt with that, catching things, punching things at the right time, he just does everything at a top world-class level, and another game today where he had the ability to show that. Moving into the defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. At times when Brentford had that threat in the first half, he can look a little bit casual, can't he? But I think that's just the way he plays the game, and I think, you know, he ends the game with 2 key passes, and he's so important in terms of getting Liverpool to play and play and play. He's just a brilliant footballer, and I think those 2 key passes show you he's involved in the attacking phase. He stretches teams with his passing range, and Liverpool just get him on the ball constantly in this system. When Liverpool have had defeats this season or poor results, I think sometimes it's, you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold for some reason always seems to be the one who gets the finger pointed at him, but I don't really think that's fair, because you've got to look at performances like this when Liverpool are playing well, and it's when Trent's playing well. He orchestrates those attacks and Liverpool's moves, and I thought he was, you know, quietly really quite good today in terms of doing that. So a good performance from him for me. Alongside him in defence, Joel Matip thrown into the game really today because Ibrahima Konate is absent with an injury, and Joe Gomez as well. My understanding is that they're both minor injuries, and the expectation is they'll both be back after the international break, which will be a boost. But Matip thrown in there, and I thought didn't let anyone down at all. It was a clean sheet today. I think Liverpool really were helped by the fact he has such height, and he's so good at winning aerial balls. We saw that again. He wins 4 aerial challenges, 3 clearances, 2 tackles. Really good coming in. I think he, you know, like Gomez, is very similar. Thought they both had poor seasons last season, but every time they've been called on so far this season, been absolutely immaculate. So really another good performance from Matip. Now he is of course helped by the fact that alongside him is Virgil van Dijk, who for me is absolutely back to his best this season. He was mammoth again today. Like I said, Brentford just kept trying to get those balls in behind, or they were trying to get the aerial ball and cause chaos in the box, and Virgil van Dijk was having absolutely none of it. 6 aerial wins today, 4 clearances, and I think the best moment in his performance for me is Mbeumo gets away, a ball in behind, or it looks like he's going to get to it at the Anfield Road end. He sprints away, and Virgil van Dijk just matches him, sprint for sprint, sort of into the corner, and just gets the ball away. And it's one of those where you would back the attacker in 9 times out of 10 in that situation, but Virgil van Dijk, when he's at his peak, and I think we are seeing his peak again here, he's as fast as anyone, he's as strong as anyone, and he's brilliant in every other aspect of his defending. So for me, absolutely back to his best, and show why today. Moving into left back, Kostas Tsimikas thrown in there again. We tried Joe Gomez, we've seen him tried there, haven't we, at Luton, and I didn't really think that worked out, and I thought it was a good idea to bring Kostas Tsimikas in here today. He made that mistake against Toulouse, but he gives you a balance going up that left-hand side because of his left-footedness. And I thought he showed why today in terms of when Liverpool are dominating possession, as you would expect in most of the home games. I think you need Kostas Tsimikas in there, and I thought he didn't let anyone down at all today. He gets 2 assists, which is, shows that he's providing something in attack. Also 3 key passes, and I thought, a really good performance from him and a really good recovery from that game at Toulouse where he makes a mistake that really puts Liverpool on the back foot. So a good job from him, but I still think the manager's got a big decision to come after the international break in terms of, does he go Joe Gomez there at left back against Manchester City, where he probably needs a bit more defensive nous than attacking thrust up that left hand side. I think it could be maybe Gomez, but Tsimikas in no way disgraced himself today. I thought a really, really strong performance from him. Into midfield, Endo in that holding role with Alexis McAllister suspended today. I thought Endo, a decent performance from him. I think you do miss Alexis McAllister's passing range at times in that area. He really gets Liverpool moving up the pitch, and I thought one of the things you could maybe criticise Endo for as well is on the defensive side of things. I think he did look a little bit slow in the challenge at times. He looks like he's a little late in there sometimes, a little bit off the pace. Maybe that's just adapting to what life is like in the Premier League, and things will get better on that front. But I thought we saw that sort of downside of his game. Funnily enough, one of the better things you see from him, I think, is that he's actually a good passer of the ball in terms of firing it through the lines, and I think he's better on the attacking side of the game. We've seen a bit more of him from him today, and I think generally across his Liverpool career. So a bit of a mixed performance from him, but he also ends up with 4 clearances as well, which I think shows that he was really good in helping keep Brentford at bay from set pieces. He seems to be on a lot of the deliveries that Brentford were putting into the box. So not a poor performance, but I'd say a mixed afternoon for him. Not perfect either, and I do think McAllister will come straight back into that holding role when Liverpool head to Manchester City. Now, alongside him in midfield, Szoboszlai, one of his more sort of quieter performances really, but he still ends the game with 2 key passes, and he's so good at snuffing out counters because his pace is electric. I think that's one of the things Liverpool really need to use him for, is sort of protecting the formation when they're in build-up. Although he's heavily involved in build-up, he's so good at snuffing out counters. We saw a lot of that today really, and particularly in the second half he really helped nullify Brentford's threat. Alongside him, Gakpo also thrown into the midfield today. Bit of a surprise call maybe, but I think when you're up against a side like Brentford who've got such height and power, I think having Gakpo in there was massively helpful actually. Sort of helpful from set pieces, helpful just in general play in terms of stopping Liverpool getting bullied. And I mentioned about missing McAllister being able to fire balls through the lines and allow Liverpool to build up easily, but I think Gakpo almost mitigated for the absence of McAllister for me today, because he's so good and so comfortable at taking the ball in tight areas, so even a lesser passer was able to pick him out and he would still look after the ball, protect it and move it on. So I thought a lot of really good stuff in terms of that, in terms of build up from him today. And I thought midfield is not his natural position, but I thought he did a really, really good job in there and should get a lot of credit. Moving into the attack, Mohamed Salah, I mean, he's just ridiculous, isn't he? He's world-class footballer, gets 2 goals with just expert finishes. He's just deadly and a brilliant finisher. We've seen a little bit more of him in the early part of the season, his involvement in build-up and setting up others, but he's still an incredible finisher, isn't he? And deadly in front of goal whenever Liverpool get him there. So that just shows you that all he's adding to Liverpool's attack is just incredible variety. He can create, he can score, he can do everything a forward can. I really hope Liverpool can sign him down to a new contract, because I don't want him to leave next summer. I think he's a phenomenal footballer, operating at the peak of his powers, and he showed that again today. Alongside him in attack, Nunez, I think first half in particular, a phenomenal performance from him. He gets a brilliant assist, great awareness to set up Salah for the opening goal, but his general play in terms of not being bullied by Brentford, taking the ball in short and popping it off, and his build-up play has just come on leaps and bounds since last season. I thought, really, really good. And he takes 3 shots in this game and gets all 3 on target, which I think is what you want to see from him. We've seen him missing sitters in recent games, haven't we, which you don't want to see a striker doing that, but getting all 3 shots on target today and really testing the goalkeeper, we want to see more of that from him, and the goals will definitely come, because he's definitely a massive goal threat, and he also shows that he's really, really good in build-up as well. He's a man in form at the moment, I would say, and I'm really, really impressed with his performance today. Alongside him, the final attacker, Diogo Jota, really, really good goal to wrap things up at the end, but I really liked the way he played in general. 3 shots, but he also gets fouled 3 times, which I think shows that his performance today, he was picking up pockets all the time, and Brentford didn't know what to do with him, didn't know how to close him down, didn't know how to squeeze him out of the game. it's his passing behind that gets Tsimikas down the left to set up Salah for the second goal as well. I just thought a really, really nice forward performance from him, where he's in Brentford's formation all the time, and they really couldn't deal with that. So I thought a really big part of why Liverpool won today. And so quite a lot of really good performances I thought today. Some really strong performances across the park, and Liverpool going into this international break, bouncing into it now in second place in the Premier League and feeling a lot better about themselves. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought of the performances today. Who stood out for you? Who was your man of the match? And as ever, going to ask you if you can please like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, and I will see you very soon.